Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm going to do a quick video today about a gun that I've had for quite a while now, probably a few years. And for some reason, I never made a video about it. I think I may have shown it or talked about it briefly. But this gun I'd like to show you is not a very practical carry gun. And I'm just going to go ahead and, as a disclaimer, say I don't think anybody should ever. I'm not recommending carrying this for a carry gun. Because I don't want anybody coming back and trying to say that, you know, he said I should. Whatever, but anyways, I love this little gun. I've wanted one for a long time. I've had it for a few years now, and I like my Wild West stuff, my old cop and mobster guns, my little snubbies. But it's Davis Industries. I don't know why I thought it was called a Cobra. I don't know. Davis Industries model D38. It's a 2-shot 38 special Derringer. And this pops open, put your rounds in here. Yeah, I think I did show in one video, something about the speed strips. But this little gun is fantastic. You know, I wouldn't want a 22, because if you're only going to have 2 shots, I'd rather have something a little bit stronger. And I carry the critical defense rounds in here, so hopefully... you know, if I ever have to use it, I'll try to at least get some decent damage out of somebody. These are not plus P. I don't think that it's rated for plus P. I wouldn't recommend that at all, just in case. But I love the Derringer. This thing is cool as shit. And each time you cock the hammer, you pull the trigger, it'll hit one barrel, and the next time it'll hit the next barrel. It just keeps alternating back and forth. But this thing's so small. I mean, it's just so tiny. And I gotta say that nobody is gonna be expecting the Derringer. Nobody at all would expect you to pull this out of your boot or pocket or wherever. And close range with somebody, I mean, the round, let's see, it sits flush. Let's see here. Where's the side of there? So, this is probably about a 2-inch barrel, literally. You can see how, you know, there ain't a whole lot of barrel space once you pull the trigger. But up close, I mean, this could very easily kill somebody that's trying to kill you. And I got the nickel one. That's all what they had at the gun shop. I'd like a blue one with some wooden grips, but I'd like pearl for this. I tried it at a gun show, but the guy who had all the grips at the show said that these are all so very different that they're just off enough that they don't always, it's hard to find grips to interchange with them. So I'm glad I tried it at a show instead of trying to order something online and end up with something, you know, that doesn't fit. But I love this little thing. It's very cool. Stick it right in my back pocket. Nobody even notices that it's there. Right in my front pocket. No one can see it. And I usually keep this in the car, but it's mostly for like when I go in a place where I really don't want anybody to see, you know, a gun printing on my clothes, because with these, that square butt right there kind of shows in your shirt. Even with a baggy shirt, unless it's really baggy, it kind of shows it still. So on those occasions where I don't want to carry in a gun like that, I'll just throw this in my pocket, because I mean, it beats the hell out of throwing a rock at somebody. You know, I'd rather have a 2-shot gun than a no-shot gun. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, there ain't much to tell about it. It's got a safety switch right here, a little button pushing in. When it's on safety, it keeps it from touching the fire pins. And I would highly recommend, if anybody does have one, keep the safety on, because let's see if I can see this. I don't know if it's going to show on the video, but on one of these, yeah, when it's on the top one, I don't know if you can see right there, that little firing pin is actually sticking through there. Let's see if I can focus it. Yeah, that little firing pin sticking out of there. So if you don't have the safety on and that's pushing and you were to drop it, it might well go off. In fact, I would expect that it would. But yeah, I just recommend using the safety if you're gonna have one. You see how the hammer's all the way up front? If you put the safety on, see, it keeps it back just a little bit. So okay, it's not a bad little piece, very light. I don't know, when I bought this, they said The guy at the store was like, yeah, that thing's gonna go flying out of your hand, and there's almost no recoil at all. Get a nice grip on it, as high as you can with the hammer, squeeze it, there's no recoil at all. The first couple times I was trying to fire it because I forgot to turn the safety off. Like I was like expecting to go flying, and I shot it, and I mean, it's just barely any recoil at all. So it's nice. I don't really wear the right kind of boots where I can hide this in my boot. You know, I have like a little holster that hangs on to the edge. I don't have them like that. I just have boots you gotta lace all the way up. But fits fine in my front pocket, my back pocket. This is a very nice little gun. I like them. I love the old westerns, and if anybody's ever seen Have Gun Will Travel, it's one of my favorite westerns. That's Paladin. Paladin always has one of these tucked away, so when somebody takes his gun away from him, you know, he just hands it over because he knows he's got the Derringer tucked away and they don't know about it. But I don't know, sometimes Maverick, I think, James Garner and Maverick will have one once in a while in his vest pocket. But very cool. It's kind of a novelty, really. I mean, it's, like I said, it's not a practical carry gun, but when I'm going in a place where I don't really think I'm gonna need a gun, I don't want somebody to see it, I'll just throw that in my pocket, because right up close, it's gonna tear somebody's ass up. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I just want to do a quick video on it. So just talking about it because I showed it the one time, and if anybody's interested in Derringers, they're very cool. They're very cool. But you don't want to walk around with a hammer cocked either, because this trigger, there's no guard on it. And yeah, I saw a video just today that was talking about revolvers and the gap behind the trigger guard. And got there clear. He was saying that just what I said in my video. He said that, although he was saying it in a negative way, saying that the gap behind the trigger guard puts your hand up and makes your trigger finger have to come down at an angle, and that you don't want that. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't want that, because that's how you keep control of the gun. But he's saying your finger should be like this, straight towards the gun, which is what leaves this space back here come flying back and hit you in the hand. But I already did a video on that, so I'm not going to get into it again. But it just really drives me nuts. There's a guy out there saying, oh yeah, you know, they used to come with these little grips. And it's like when they had them, when Smith, before they had the magnet grips, that's what these panel grips are called. They had the service grips, which are also panel grips, but they stopped right about here. So there's no metal up, or no grip up here by the metal on the top. And then, as you can see how that gets wider as you get up towards the top? And the Smith & Wesson, at some point, I don't know, 30s, 40s, extended the grips all the way to the top like that. That's because that's for the web of your thumb. And when you put the web of your thumb there, your finger has to come downward like that. It helps make the trigger pull lighter. Not a lot, but it gives it a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to pull. But that's what keeps the gun, helps you have control. But you get a nice high and tight grip on that thing. When you shoot it, it's not going to beat your hand up. Now, one of these days, I got to do a range video and just start firing off a bunch of rounds with one of these guns, holding it the way that I suggest, and just show that it doesn't hurt. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And I mean, this particular channel, I don't agree with half the stuff the guy says on there. Some things aren't bad. I've watched a few of his videos, but just the video I was watching was about like the evolution of revolvers. And it was a pretty good video, other than that part where he's talking about, you know, you get the rubber grips and it fills in this gap. It's like, this gap, that's bad. You don't want that gap. Yes, you do. That is why you go buy a brand new revolver, that gap is still there. Check this out. My Taurus. This is a brand new Taurus. I bought it 2 years ago, maybe. And as you can see, that gap, now the rubber grips that came with it filled that gap in, at least to some extent, maybe halfway. But that gap is still there. If that gap was not supposed to be there, if you were not supposed to put your middle finger through here, which let me just put this here. That's one of my ones I use for home protection. So if I gotta shoot somebody, I won't have to turn over one of my nice Smith & Wessons. You know, I carry them on me, but at home I got the magnums waiting. But you know, you put your pinky up in the top up there, or your middle finger. I'm sorry, your middle finger up in there. You wedge the top of that back strap. See, even on this one, it still gets wider. Wedge your hand in it like that, and you can shoot this thing all day, even with magnets, and it's not going to bother your hand. But you start holding it low, and it's going to start beating the hell out of that web of your thumb right there. So, alright, well, I said I wasn't going to get into it, and I already started getting into it, so I'll leave it at that. But this point was, brand new gun. 2 years ago, I bought a brand new. Any Smith & Wesson, you go by, you take off the giant rubber grips, and that gap is still there. Now, I can understand that maybe on a lightweight gun, if this gap wasn't important, I can understand them filling it in, or leaving that gap there, and filling it with rubber to give it more lightweight. But this is a full weight gun, and that gap is still there. If that was not a good thing to have, and they were trying to give this gun more weight, they could just easily fill it in, put your hand down, and I don't know, it doesn't make sense. You need that spot so you can get a firm, solid grip on that gun and keep it from beating the shit out of your hands. So, one more thing. This is my 1873 replica. It is a real gun. It's not just a, it's just, it made it look like the old style. You see that right there? Same gap on the trigger guard. In 1850, when they started making repeating pistols, they had that gap. And all the way up to 2017, they still have that gap. If it wasn't useful, or if it shouldn't be there, they're not going to keep making the guns this way. They would have corrected it a long time ago. So anybody who's listening, you shoot however you want to shoot, but that's how I shoot, and I have no pain, no discomfort in my hand by holding it high and tight and keeping that trigger finger coming down at an angle like that. And again, it's just my opinion. People do what you want. But when I had my dad's 637, and we were shooting it at the range when I was about 15, it had the rubber boot grips on it, which gave me a lower grip, filled in behind that trigger guard some, and that thing just beat it. It literally put a blister on my hand and ripped the blister. It put it there and popped it all in the same day. And I still kept shooting. But that hammer kept coming back because I wasn't holding it high enough like I'm supposed to. So, again, anybody do with that whatever you like, but that's just how I feel about it. And that's ultimately a decision for each user of whatever gun, any gun owner to make for themselves. But I'll tell you what, the only revolver I have that doesn't have the Magna style grips on it is my Taurus 617, and that's because it's got the weird frame. It's got a compact frame, and you can't put these kind of grips on it. It just doesn't look right. They don't even make them for it. So that's the only one that doesn't have this style of grips, and it'll be the only one that I'll ever have that doesn't have this style of grips. So anyhow, just wanted to share the Derringer, and I didn't really want to get on a rant about the damn gap behind the trigger guard again, but after seeing that video, I was just like, oh my god, dude. Just because you're crying because your hand hurts doesn't mean that other, normal grown men who don't have hand issues should be crying too. It doesn't mean everybody else is just because he is, but he wants to go around telling everybody, you got to do it this way. And it defeats the fucking purpose. You get the rubber grips to keep it from hurting your hand, and that causes that hand to hurt more. Anyways, I just want to show off my little Derringer here. This even has a little bit of a gap, oh shit. But I love this little thing. I love it. I love it. Nobody is ever expecting the Derringer. Nobody is ever expecting the Derringer. Like I said, they make 22 magnums. They have some other bigger calibers like 357s and like 45 long Colt, 410 shells, or they also shoot 45 long Colt. Like, I think they have 45 autos too. But those are bigger than this. They have like some big ones that almost look like they're big enough to be a hip gun instead of a pocket gun. And that's why I like this one, because it's old school. It looks like the old school ones. It's nice and small, compact. You never know. May come in handy. But again, I'm not recommending anybody using them. That's my disclaimer. I'm just saying that I like having this little thing and carrying it around. It's 150 bucks. Nice little piece. So, alright, until next time, y'all take it easy.